In this episode, Facebook are killing the like button for third-party apps, Adobe release a brand new tag manager, a clever way to find out if McDonald's have a broken ice cream machine, and a really cool way to deal with scammers. All that and a whole lot more right after this short intro. How you all doing? We are back for another week in digital marketing news. This week for the week ending on the 11th of 17. That's right, it's the 11th of November 2017. How you doing? I'm Vince Warnock. Of course, we are here for AllTheGeek.com, your single source of digital marketing news. Everything from tech to AI, from social to search. If it's relevant for you, or even just even slightly interesting for you as digital marketers, then it's going to be on the website. Right, we are going to kick things off, but before we do, remember, here's the drill. If you like anything you see in this video, click on that like button. If you don't want to miss any of the updates, make sure you click subscribe. And of course, check us out during the week on AllTheGeek.com. Right, let's kick things off now. And before we kick into the news, of course, we like to talk about your feedback from the week, and some really interesting feedback, actually. Couple of things. First up, a lot of feedback on the tech find of the week last week, which of course was gohighbrow.com. A lot of people saying they really like these micro learning platforms, these kind of easy to digest ways of consuming knowledge. So I'm going to look out. We don't have anything in this video, but I'm going to look out for some other kind of other services, other products similar to Go Highbrow, and I'll make sure I bring that to you. And then off the back of that, the other feedback we got was around the tech finds of the week. A lot of people are trying to remember ones from previous weeks, and they have to fast forward in the video to work out what it was. So there's a lot of people requesting we actually do a separate tech find for digital marketers video. So watch this space. We will have that coming in the next couple of weeks just for you. All right, let's kick things off with the news. First up, of course, it's everything new in social. Okay, we have a lot of social media news this week. Seems like everyone wanted to get in the headlines. First up, Twitter. You may or may not have known this, but Twitter usernames previously have been limited to 20 characters. So no good if you are Sir Charles Penningworth IV or something along those lines. I don't know, I'm making up long names now. But if it's over 20 characters, you are kind of out of luck. Well, Twitter have changed that. They've just announced they're enabling usernames to be up to 50 characters now. I can't really think of any practical use for that unless you're a brand with a really, really long name, or unless you want to do something parodic, you know, parody, but ick on the end, that kind of thing. If you want to do something that's a parody, then maybe it would fit. Otherwise, really, you want something that's short and people can understand and easy to remember. So anyway, there you go. That's Twitter news. Next up, Facebook. This is big news during the week. So 3 years ago, Facebook launched a whole pile of developer tools and that for people making apps, like third-party apps. Well, Facebook are now disabling the like functionality from within those apps. So the native buttons that Facebook allowed you to have access to, they are going to switch those off. So if you've got a third-party app that you haven't updated for a while, you may want to take some do some work on that very, very quickly. Now, Facebook are allowing you to create your own buttons. You can you can choke on your own saliva. Something you do in videos apparently, but you can create your own button that actually goes through and likes your page, you know, the normal kind of functionality, but their button that they give you is going to be switched off. Now, interestingly, in this update, a little hidden gem within here was the fact that they're also switching off the app recommends or app invites. Now, you've all had this situation, you've been on Facebook, you get those pesky, stupid game requests from people going, you might want to play this game. It's Plants versus Zombies versus Worms versus Aliens or something. And it's in your face and it's constantly spamming your inbox. Well, no more. Facebook are switching off the app invite functionality within third-party applications, and I say it's a day to celebrate. Nice one, Facebook. Next up, Facebook are relaunching their Events app. Now I'm going to pause here for a moment, just so you can think to yourself, what the hell is the Events app? That's right, only a few people seem to have ever used it, and obviously we aren't one of those. Facebook previously had an Events app. They are rebranding it and repurposing it as Facebook Local. Sorry, our cameraman there is getting a little excited about this news, so he's accidentally kicking the tripods. That's okay. I look a bit shaky. That's not just me. It's not an earthquake here in Wellington. It's just an overexcited cameraman. So our new, and now he's giving me the evils. Our new Facebook's new app is called Local, and essentially it's kind of a mashup of local businesses, reviews for those businesses. It's events that are happening in the area, things that you can do, etc. It's stuff that you can get out of the normal Facebook app, but it's kind of centralized into a local app for you, hence the name Local. So they're renaming that and relaunching that very, very soon. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if that takes off. If it does, there could be some really interesting marketing opportunities for small businesses, particularly local businesses. So, yeah, keen to hear of any clever ways people start using that. Anyway, sort of still in the Facebook, i.e. in the Instagram space, Instagram are now allowing you to upload content that is over 24 hours old for Instagram stories. Now, anyone who's created Instagram stories before, you know that content has to be fresh. It's got to be created within the last 24 hours. But you also know that's a pain in the butt, so you'll do what everybody else seems to do, including all the celebrities. You'll either screenshot the images, you'll retake them, or you'll even go in and change the metadata to try and fool Instagram stories into thinking it's a new image or video. Well, you don't have to freak out about that anymore. Instagram have realized that just about everybody is bypassing that rather pointless limit. So now they're just turning the switch off and saying, okay, you can all do it. Anything that's over 24 hours old is fine by us as well. So that opens up a number of different possibilities and certainly makes life easier, especially not having to go in and change metadata. As you know, that's a pain. So nice one, Instagram. Wow, I'm really struggling here today. Next up, similar to me, struggling, is Snapchat. Snapchat have just had their Q3 financial results, their Q3 earnings report. Oh, stop laughing, cameraman. Snapchat have just had their Q3 earnings report, and it really doesn't look good. I mean, the revenue side looks great. They've got $207 million of revenue. That's up 62% year on year for Q3, which sounds awesome. Unfortunately, when you layer in a $443 million loss, that's a 400% increase year on year, then it doesn't look good at all. Now, a portion of that loss, 40 million to be precise, has come from Snapchat Spectacles. Essentially, they thought they'd be a bit more popular than they were, so there's a warehouse somewhere with essentially $40 million worth of these things sitting in it and not selling at all. So, yeah, not great. Obviously, stocks have plummeted as a result of this news and these reports. So hopefully they can pick things up. The revenue side of things is positive, i.e. $207 million per quarter is nothing to scoff at, but they need to keep that spending and those losses under control. So, fingers crossed for Snapchat. And lastly, in social, I was going to call this a bit of a mashup, Microsoft teaming up with LinkedIn, but everybody knows Microsoft actually owns LinkedIn, so essentially there's no mashup here at all. But anyway, Microsoft and LinkedIn have combined their powers and they have created Resume Assistant. So essentially what this is, within Office 365, particularly Word, you now have a Resume Assistant button. You can click on that button and it will pull through all the contents from your LinkedIn to help to populate your resume, or your CV, we call it over here in New Zealand. But yeah, essentially it will populate this for you. It'll also make some recommendations on how to structure it and what you should be talking about and what's irrelevant, etc. So look, a really interesting collaboration, a really interesting approach to resume building or CV building. Not so much as powerful for us as digital marketers, but certainly if we're looking for a new job and you want to do your CV, could be really powerful. You never know. Awesome news. Hey, guess what? That's it in social. Next up, it's all that's new in search. Okay, a few stories for us in search. Well, actually, 2 stories. I guess that counts as few. First up, and this one got me really excited, Adobe have launched a next-gen tag manager. Now, wait for it, it's called Launch, which effectively means Adobe have just launched Launch. I wonder if they had lunch when they launched the launch. So it'd be launch, lunch, launch. No, lunch, launch. Anyway, my dag jokes are getting worse. Anyway, they've launched Launch. They call it a next-gen tag manager for a reason. One of the main ones is it's quite an evolution from Adobe's old tag manager. This one it's an open platform that allows third-party integrations. So essentially, gone are the old days where you had to go to a third-party application that you wanted to include in Tag Manager, not only put the tag in there, but copy and paste a whole pile of JavaScript, etc. This can create full extensions or full integrations into their new Tag Manager. And so far, just from the pilots, Let's see who we've got. Clicktail, LinkedIn, TrustArc, Dun & Bradstreet, and a whole pile more have created their own extensions for it already. So this is going to be really interesting, and it's something that will make Google pay attention. The other thing is, of course, this is built into Adobe Cloud, and really this came from, I think you remember way back in 2013, Adobe bought the tag manager company called Satellite. Well, this has been a slow progression of Satellite until we get up to this next-gen platform. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I'm going to be hitting up Adobe for a bit of a demo on this because it's something that genuinely interests me, and I think it's quite exciting. So there you go. Hopefully you find it exciting too. So nice one, Adobe, and that came hot off the press from their Adobe product launch. Next up, talking about new products. I don't have too much information on this one yet. I'm going to dig into this a little bit deeper so I can present it to you on allthegeek.com. But essentially, a number of companies have kind of bandied together to provide their own or build their own ad platform. So as you know, you'll all be familiar with this. Programmatic has a lot of issues, and most of that around trust. There's click fraud, there's viewability issues, there's who's clipping the ticket and where. Don't get me started on that one. In fact, by the way, hold me to this, hit me up on social if you want to hear this, but we could bring in a very, very clever guest speaker who can actually explain a lot of the issues around programmatic. So that will be quite an eye-opener for a lot of people. But anyway, due to all those trust issues, all those problems with programmatic, a number of people have formed a company, a not-for-profit ad platform called TrustX. Now this is Viacom, go say that one carefully, Viacom, NBC Universal, Vox Media, and Washington Post, amongst others, have all teamed up to form TrustX. Now what it does essentially is it only allows A-list publishers to be able to to have the ads on, so that way you know that your ads are in front of trustworthy sources, and they are only shown to actual people. Now, as I said, I don't have too much information on this yet, so those are bold claims. I can't really validate those claims just yet until I have a play with this platform, until I see how it's built, etc. So I'll get back to you on that one, but certainly it's an interesting one, and if you've been around any kind of digital marketing conference lately, you'll hear a number of issues around trust with programmatic. So step in the right direction, I certainly hope so. Guess what? That's it for search. Next up, it's all that's new in tech. Okay, we've got a couple of stories in tech this week. Now, you know I say everything that's relevant to digital marketers will be on allthegeek.com. It'll be in our Week in Digital Marketing News. These two aren't really that relevant to us, but I find them really interesting. And the first one I'm putting in here because I know as digital marketers, you're all a bunch of geeks like me, and this means you're probably going to end up getting consumed by this and spending far too much time. That's right, Niantic, our favorite creators of Pokemon Go, have now announced that they are launching, next year they're launching a new AR game based in the Harry Potter universe. It's called Harry Potter Wizards Unite, and essentially it's built off of the Ingress platform, so similar to what Pokemon Go was built off actually, but more in line with Ingress. It allows you to get boosts or power-ups, it allows you to defend locations, it allows you to explore new environments, and it's in the Harry Potter world. I mean, come on. You know you're going to end up playing it. You're going to get really embarrassed. You're going to pretend you don't. You're going to be sitting next to your digital marketing colleague in the office and realize that both of you are trying to catch a damn Pikachu. Dumbledore. And then you'll realize that you're all addicted. So, yeah, be prepared, plan early, schedule some time to go and play Harry Potter Wizards Unite. The next story is just a stroke of genius. And I put this in here because I just love this kind of thing. I love how people think outside the square. This is a tech genius called Raina McLeod, and Raina is awesome, and you'll hear a lot about her in the future. I'm absolutely certain of that. But Raina had, in her words, a late-night Oreo McFlurry craving. Yes, we've all had them before. But she hopped in her car, trotted on down to a local McDonald's, only to find, and we've all had this far too often, the ice cream machine is broken. And you know, the frustration, the disappointment, the soberly walking out of McDonald's with your head down, your tail between your legs, feeling sorry for yourself. Well, most of us would then just go, oh, terrible experience, poor me. Raina goes, you know what, screw that. I don't like that. I don't like coming down here and finding out the machine's not working, especially when you go to the next McDonald's and find out their machine's broken as well and you can't get your McFlurry fixed. That's not acceptable. So Raina did what any good tech genius will do. she created an app for that. So it's an iOS and Android app. I don't actually have the name for it yet. I'm going to put it on AllTheGeek at some point. But essentially, it's called Ice Check. There you go, I did have the name. It's called Ice Check, and it checks your local McDonald's. Now, it's all based on GPS and on user feedback, so it's going to get more and more reliable if people actually use it. But certainly, it will get rid of that issue of going, is the ice cream machine working? And then getting down there and finding out you can't have a caramel sundae, you can't have a soft serve cone, or your favorite McFlurry. So McDonald's, shame on you. Rainer, you're an absolute legend, so nice work. But again, just great ways to see people using tech to solve common problems, although I'm not too sure how big that problem is. But certainly for me personally it is. Anyway, that's it for tech. I'm rambling. Next up, it's all that's new in AI. Okay, we've got a few stories in AI today, actually. Yes, 3. I know, you're spoiled. First up, Google Assistant. Yes, the NLP, the natural language processor that sits behind all of our favorite devices, such as our Google cell phones or our Google Homes. Google Assistant now allows you to find out what song is playing in the background near you. You've all had that problem. You're sitting there, a song comes on, you go, oh, who's this artist? Or who's this? What's this song? Or, oh, what's the lyrics to this? Well, worry no longer. Just fire up your Google Assistant on your phone and say, Google, what's this song, or what song's playing? And Google will not only tell you the artist, it will not only tell you the name of the song, it will give you a complete list of lyrics, and it will link you to a YouTube video of it and the Spotify link as well. So interesting use of AI and machine learning. Essentially, it's got to categorize all the different songs, the different variations as well, the different singers that could potentially be singing it. So a number of things to overcome when you build these kind of services into Google Assistant. But either way, I know I'm going to end up using it, actually probably quite a bit, especially as I get older and the memory fades. No comments, cameraman. Anyway, next up, this one's actually quite exciting. So the Salesforce have just held Dreamforce, which is their big San Francisco annual conference. And at Dreamforce, Salesforce announced they are launching a thing called My Einstein. Now, essentially, this is a package of tools that are designed specifically for developers or Salesforce admins to be able to build AI-based tools, essentially. So you can build chatbots or natural language processors off the back of this. So you can train a chatbot to be able to interact with people. Oh, getting ahead of myself. But also you can then build AI-based algorithms and AI-based systems to be able to run reports. So an example they gave around this is if you want to be able to predict who's going to be paying their invoices prior to 90 days, post 90 days. So if you want build a bit of a payment profile, I guess, of people, then you can train the AI to do so. And My Einstein will give you all the tools you need. Apparently it's really intuitive. I haven't played with it personally yet, but I certainly intend to. Really intuitive and a bit of an extension of their dev tools that they've been rolling out recently. So interesting area for Salesforce to get into, and certainly one that's giving them a bit of an edge over most of their competitors. So nice work, Salesforce. I can't wait to play around with it. And lastly, in AI, this is a bit of a local story for us. A New Zealand company called NetSafe have launched a new way, a clever way to deal with scammers. So you'll receive those emails that say that there's some funds that want to come your way. You need to urgently contact them. You've got to give proof of ID. Then you've got to give them your credit card details so they can take a deposit and then be able to send the money over to you. Well, instead of mucking around trying to get rid of these, instead of worrying about them being in your inbox, you can now forward them to a new email address. And that email address is me, as in M-E, at rescam.org, rescam.org. Now this comes from New Zealand company NetSafe, and what they've done is they've built a chatbot that loosely uses AI. A lot of this is just machine learning, a lot of it's just some algorithms in the background and basically some standardized kind of process maps. But what it does is it will then take over the interaction with that scam. So it wastes the scammer's times by emailing back and forth, looking at the responses they give you and trying to calculate or trying to work out the best way to keep them on the go. I can't think of the wording, to keep them interested and keep them emailing back. All the while, you can just get on with your life and not worry about scammers. So certainly nothing that's really that new. I know people have created these kind of things before, but I certainly think there's an easy way to do it. Just emailing it through to me at rescam.org is a simple way to deal with scam, and anything that irritates a scammer is all right by me. So nice work, NetSafe. That is it in AI, guys. Next up, it's our Muppet of the Week award. Okay, so in the Muppet of the Week award this week, well, this week goes to a pet peeve of mine, actually, and I'm going to rant here for a minute, so just get my soapbox ready. Excuse me. This week's Muppet of the Week award goes to a combination of the media and, more importantly, certain celebrities. Now, I don't want to go naming them all individually because it'll take a while, and really, I don't want to give them the credit for this kind of thing. But essentially, it's for not knowing how technology works. Now, this has come off the back of a story that broke this week around Twitter coming under fire for their verification program. So essentially, Twitter had an issue where celebrities were getting basically getting mimics, like people were creating fake celebrity accounts, impersonating them, and then saying some pretty nasty things as well. So Twitter had to deal with that by creating their verification platform. Now, essentially, what it does, you have to jump through a number of hoops to be verified, but what it does is it just checks to see that you are authentic, that you are actually you, and therefore anything that you say, or say via tweets, is coming from you and coming from your voice. So it's a really important service, and one that I know a lot of celebrities and a lot of important people are very happy about. Now, this isn't just limited to celebrities, it's anybody really that's in the public space. Well, this is where it's got interesting. So somebody found out this week that Jason Kessler, and if that name rings a bell, I'll explain why in a minute. Jason Kessler has been verified by Twitter, and people have got their knickers in a twist. So Jason Kessler, if you remember the name, he's a vile individual. He's just a scumbag. He's essentially a white supremacist, racist douchebag who organised a lot of the Charlottesville, I was going to say rallies, but really riots, including the one where the young lady lost her life. Now, as I said, he's a douchebag of the highest order, and I don't care for him at all. But where this has gone wrong is a lot of celebrities and media have jumped all over Twitter saying, how can you endorse him by verifying? To clarify, verification is not endorsement, it's authentication. Authentication and endorsement, they're two completely separate things. Not only that, you need, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but you need these douchebags to actually have their own voice. And the reason for that is, if you give them somewhere where they can vocalize, people start to realize just how stupid these people are. And yes, I know there are some gullible people out there that will probably buy into this hate speak and this rhetoric, but in reality, you need it to be exposed so you can see just how horrible a person this guy actually is. So, therefore, the verification program is actually a good thing. It means that you're not thinking to yourself, wow, this is really stupid. Is this a parody account? No, it's verified. This actually is the voice of Jason Kessler, and I don't care for it. But anyway, so yeah, to you, the media, to you, the celebrities, just get off the bandwagon for a moment. Understand that if you hate the way somebody's talking, don't hate the platform that's just going through and doing what they do for you, for them. Does that make sense? No, it gets confusing. Essentially, this authentication platform, the verification platform, is available to anybody who is in the public space, whether you like them or not. You can't silence that. That is how the technology is designed to work. It protects you and it protects them as well. And believe it or not, human beings all need equal rights, despite what Jason Kessler will try and tell you, which means he has an equal right to be verified as well. Now, it's good to be hating the kind of speech that comes out of Jason Kessler's mouth because he's an idiot. So therefore, put your hatred, put your anger in the right direction and back off of Twitter. In this case, they honestly did nothing wrong. So, soapbox is now removed. I'm calming down again. But here we go. Muppet of the Week award goes to the media and to those celebrities that are stupid enough to buy into this kind of story. Muppet of the Week over and out. Okay, next up, a little bit lighter, a little bit friendlier, and not so angry. It is our tech find of the week. And this week is a tech find that I'm actually going to be using myself and going to be using, ironically, to create the tech find of the week summary videos. There you go. It's called OBS Studio. A lot of you would have heard of this already. If you want to find out about it, go to obsproject.com. But essentially, it's a video streaming and screencasting and live streaming software. So you install this on your local PC, you download it, install it on your PC. There's Mac versions and Linux versions available as well. install it on your PC, and then you can do screencasting. So you can record tutorials, you can do voiceovers. It has some pretty sophisticated ways of dealing with the sound as well. So it can do a lot of background elimination, etc. Not quite to the extent that something like Adobe Audition or anything like that will, but certainly some good basic tools that will help you. But also it has the ability to do live streaming. A lot of YouTubers use this to be able to live stream their gaming. This is supported by Twitch, by YouTube Gaming, and by Mixer. And best part about all of this, of course, it's free. So there you go, OBS Studio. Go to obsproject.com. I'm going to be using it this week to create my tutorial video, which essentially is just my highlights of the tech finds of the week. Deep breath. We did it, guys. We got to the end. You made it all the way through, and you're a better person for it as well. So there you go. That's our digital marketing news. The week in digital marketing news. The cameraman's looking at me like I'm an idiot. I guess he might be right. Anyway, I'm off to EdTech this week. So if you're up in Auckland, New Zealand for the EdTech conference, come and check out my session up there. Come and say hi to me, and afterwards we'll go and buy a beer. There you go. Nice and simple. But of course, yeah, so looking forward to meeting you all up at EdTech. And that's it. Remember what I said? If you liked anything, click on the like. If you don't want to miss anything, click on subscribe. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic week. I've been Vince Warnock. You guys have been awesome. I'll see you all next week.